G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's voting video on YouTube. I have to really speak up very loudly here because there's a lot of music that's actually playing around across through my backyard garden. There's actually about a few neighborhoods that are trying to pretty much straightforward mess up the whole video. And yes, I'm going to start it with the cornflowers because obviously that's pretty much the area of where the noise is about to take over. And yes, these cornflowers are doing very, very well, of course, thank you. And if I go downstairs, we've got some fresh pumpkin seedlings. And yes, it's not one of the let's just say, how'd you call it, one of the most proper startups for a video on YouTube. But then, hey, I'm finally back again as I'm now finally doing these backyard garden tours. Oh my crikey, so we've got some fresh pumpkin seedlings. We've also got another pumpkin seedling, and I tell you what, there's actually some fairly good news with the pumpkin seedling, so I might as well just venture towards the other side. We've got a big clump of nasturtiums. I'm doing a very rough guesstimate of how many plants there is at the moment because time has gone through because of the music. We've got some sunflower seedlings. Of course, I've actually got about 5 of these plants which have actually started to flower, which is actually very nice to know considering 1 or 2 of them have stopped flowering, even though there is another one that's actually about to flower up another blossom, which I'll probably talk about that one later on. I need to turn the brightness up so that I can show you guys as a bit of proof. So there you go, there's the sunflower seedling amongst the big size pumpkin flowers. I think many of these are male. I might probably talk about that in another video on how to differentiate between male and female pumpkin flowers because of the music. And I've also got a couple of strawberry seedlings as well too. And I'll tell you what, these seedlings are also doing very nicely, I can tell, and the music is actually straightforward cranking right up next door. Right over here, of course, are some fresh calendulas. There's actually about 3 calendula seedlings, which are, of course, growing very nicely. And right on the other side here is a massive sized calendula seedling alongside a couple of cornflower seedlings. Now, that is amazing, seeing them flowering at the same time. That is actually quite a very nice sight to see, seeing them being late flowers. And, of course, we've also got big 2 tomato seedlings, which is actually very nice to know as well. And alongside that, we've got a big clump of nasturtiums and also a very nice looking size pumpkin seedling. In fact, we've actually got about 3 of these pumpkin seedlings, which I might talk about that in another video's time, because guess what, the music is still playing. And yes, I do want to apologize for the very short duration here, because obviously there is a lot of music that's actually going around within me, and I can't really make a very fully detailed video with all that music guff that's actually right over in the background from like 2/3 of my neighborhood just blurring out. Because obviously if I did present my video with music, well then YouTube is going to really straightforward strike me with a nasty copyright strike message, and that's something I would really want to hate. Okay, so we've got more clumps of nasturtiums here again. I tell you what, there's a lot of it going on here, eh? As I'm straightforward calming myself down now, we've actually got bigger clumps of nasturtiums, and there's also, yeah, I can tell you what, there's actually quite a lot of, you know, yellow, red, and orange sort of peachy sort of coloured nasturtium flowers. Some of them have got like a reddish sort of flare up, I suppose so, in terms of the patterns on the flowers. So I'm just speaking rough and readily because of the music. And then I've also got another big size pumpkin seedling. I'll talk about these in another video because, hey, the music is blowing up. And we've also got some fresh calendula seedlings. So yes, I'll tell you what, even though we have endured what seems to be a very hot and dry summer, I'll tell you what, I'll try and talk about that in another video's time because of the music. So apologies with the music that's actually thrown into the video from the neighborhood, of course, because obviously I won't allow that on my videos on YouTube, because obviously it would include a very nasty copyright strike. With that being said, it seems like the music has sort of died down. Now I can make it a little bit more longer this time, couldn't I? Well, no way, Jose. The music is now coming out all the way back up. Who knows? I might have to probably make a video on how to really think about music on YouTube these days, because clearly YouTube is now becoming a very rigged and sort of nasty site these days. You know, back then I can include all kinds of music, but then at the same time, you're now going to be completely and utterly struck out by a nasty copyright strike bot. There's one big dugout hole here, and of course we've got some nasturtiums. Again, very nice colour combinations of nasturtiums. And yes, we've also got a first few signs of female pumpkins. There's one with the lumpy sort of fruit section here, eh? I tell you what, I'll probably talk about these in another video because, as I said earlier on before, the music is taking over. And of course, as I'm tracking along, we've got more pumpkin flowers, big size male pumpkin flowers. And again, wow, I tell you what, my backyard garden is growing immensely and it's exponential. And of course, we've got a few sunflower seedlings. There's one that has flowered, the other one hasn't. because it was flowering before when I was making this video, about a couple of, let's just say, last week, a couple of days ago. And then we've also got a big size sunflower seedling, which has actually sported a smaller sunflower flower, which is very, very nice. And then we've also got more bigger size nasturtiums and pumpkin flowers, many of which are male. And I'm telling you guys, hey, my backyard garden is looking absolutely fertile, despite the adversely dry and hot conditions that we're having at the moment. Tell you what, my calendulas are also doing very good as well too, despite the heat. And yeah, we haven't had any rain, which has been quite disappointing, but nevertheless, that's how summer is. It's very much what summer is literally all about. It's all about the heat and the humidity. Mind you, we've got a lot of nasturtiums, and also there was a big size tomato seedling, which has actually sported quite a lot of fresh tomatoes. There's actually one here, and there's also another one here as well too, which I believe is the flower. The yellow part is the flower. And I'll tell you what, my backyard garden is going to grow absolutely massive. And of course, I might as well just leave the video like that, because hey, the music is straight. We're going to blow out. I'll cover this in another video's time. In a very detailed mannerism, because obviously the music is straight for blowing out. So I'm very sorry I can't even make a very full video on that. Couldn't we? Or couldn't I? So if you really enjoyed this very relatively short and sharp tour around of my backyard garden, I'm going to leave this video right here. So if you really enjoyed it, please give this video a very good like, subscribe for more flat videos in the future. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and bye for now.